Hi YouTube. I wanted to go into detail a bit today about a toxic workplace experience that I had when I worked at a store. I worked around like 7, 8, 9 different jobs, probably when I was younger, when I had to, because my parental figures made me, and also I knew I needed to save money, and I didn't really have nobody or no means to really get it. I didn't really have any options out there, so I had no choice but to like get a part-time job or like a full-time job at some point. So I decided to just work at a store, and I worked there pretty much like, even though I was part-time, it felt like full-time because it was like 5 or 6 days a week, and I was there for like 6, 7, 8 hours normally. So to me that was like a long time, but I knew I needed to save money and I needed to have a place to go because that was just my life then. That was back when I was like around like 21, 22. So I felt like I didn't have a choice but to work a job. So I just took whatever I could get, whoever would hire me on the spot. When I first started working there, it seemed okay. It seemed like people were friendly and like I knew how to kind of do the job because it was just basic like cash handling, bagging things, sometimes like things like that. So like I already kind of knew how to do that stuff, so I just took the job anyways. And I think that there were a lot of people who worked there, so you would meet people from different departments sometimes. But I just kind of kept it cordial and I just minded my business and I just went to work anyways, like, and I just got my money and I went home. So I don't think a lot of people liked that, or they got the wrong idea of me. But it started off okay and then I got worse over the months. I'm not sure why it did, but I just think the environment got more hostile, but at first it wasn't. When I first worked there, I thought I met some acquaintances, some people, but they ended up either leaving, quitting the job, or just like not, I don't know, not really being there for me as much, because when you're on a job, nobody really gives a shit about anyone but themselves, or just like, I don't know, like whatever the task is that you have to do. But I guess one of the girls there, she worked there probably like a week, maybe a couple days, and she's still harassing me today. I don't know why, but she's definitely one of them that lived up off me in some sort of way. She literally won't stop harassing me for some reason. I probably forgot who she was because she barely worked there. She quit after like a couple days or like a week, and I never saw her again after like having conversations with her. So that's super awkward. And she won't leave me alone. She won't stop harassing me the whole entire day, basically. I think it's weird because she's pissed she can't live up off me no more. So basically everyone that was part of that job, that company, that organization, they were all like living up off my energy, right? Like using my energy as an energy source. Like I don't think they really valued my work or like me coming into work or like doing my job at all. Like I don't think they cared. Then I also experienced like sexual harassment at the workplace. One of the managers was doing that to me, and then also some of the other co-workers and people, but it was like low-key, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that had that happened to them. But I just figured I would say that that went on at the workplace. And just harassment in general, because one of the managers started not to like me, and I think it was after I went on vacation to Miami, and then I came back. I was only there for like 3 days because I had money to go. That's because I worked there. And I think that sparked jealousy in people, because some of my coworkers, they found my Instagram page and or people at the place, and they started like stalking me on there. But I don't think it was a good idea to have them on there, because like then like you include people in your personal life, and I was a private person, so I didn't really like want them really knowing my life like that. Like but they didn't like the fact that I left the state for a couple days, which I thought was weird because I literally went with my sibling. Like it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't dating someone. I didn't go with them. I didn't have like all this money, extravagant things. Like I just went there because she suggested it and we wanted to go. So I took like a couple days off and I went back to work right the same day, right, or like the next day when I got back. But like no one actually said it was because of that. But then I just kind of like tried to move on and still work and save money. But then I noticed the environment was getting worse, and I just feel like it was directed towards me, like everyone, I was kind of singled out or like treated like different than other people, or just like there was something wrong with me, even though I was just trying to like mind my business, but I was still like cordial with people and the managers. But I feel like they didn't really like me that much, or they actually like really hated me, but they were just acting fake and acting like they liked me. Like, you know what I mean? That's how it is at like typical workplaces. But yeah, it's just really weird energy, where the energy's still coming up today, so I need to talk about it because it's a lot of betrayal and things like that that happened to me that I didn't really get really revealed until like years later, several years later. That was like several years ago that I worked there. So yeah, and then people were also being sent towards me to like fake befriend me, or to like watch me at my job, or like fake date me or whatever. Like I kind of knew that energy was going on, so I didn't really like it there. I was kind of like traumatized and anxiety ridden when I was there, because I didn't even really want the job anyways, but I needed it. I made a goal to save up like 10K at least, or try to, so like I just worked on that myself. I didn't tell anyone I was doing that. But yeah, I just decided to do that because I could, because I still lived at my parental figure's home, but I didn't really necessarily like it there that much, but I didn't have a choice. I liked that I was able to leave the home, but I still felt like I was having anxiety, or I just like didn't really mesh well with the people there or with the environment when I went to work. But I still had to put up with it, because that's what you have to do sometimes if you have reasons for why you need the job. And then also like a lot of people, if I did have conversations, I feel like they would like try to act like they were on my side, but they really weren't, or like it was just weird energy where I felt like people were being sent in towards me, and I just didn't really trust it. So I don't think I really like made connections or relationships there. I just kind of focused on myself. I wasn't really invited out anywhere. I don't think they wanted me to be. They would kind of like put it up in my face and let me know like, oh, I wasn't included in this or that. Like they didn't want me to be, but then I also realized like maybe I wasn't meant to be around those people. But if someone were to ask me to get food in the area, I probably would have said yes, but no one really invited me out anywhere, and I wasn't gonna make the first move. So it's not like I rejected anyone. I just felt like maybe I didn't mesh well with the people there, or maybe like something was off. That's because it was. I was thinking it was just me, but it wasn't. But yeah, let me think if there's anything else I need to say. So yeah, one of the managers really didn't like me, or she started not to like me, and she would be rude to me at work or like harass me. But the other managers didn't really give a shit, but they were like on her side. So they weren't really a big as much part of it as she was in not liking me and targeting me. But it was very covert, like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like always blatantly out in my face. Like I just knew that she didn't like me, or she had it up for me. So I started to think of like leaving the job, but I ended up staying there for some more months. And I stayed there for about like 10 months, 11 months, and then up until COVID started happening, and then I wanted to quit because I felt like it wasn't good for me or my health, like working all those days and like hours. It just took a toll on me, and I didn't want to be there anymore. So yeah, that was the reason for like why I left, despite the fact that I just didn't feel like I meshed well with the environment, or I felt like the job like served its purpose and like I didn't need to be there anymore. Then also like I just didn't really feel like I got anything like out of the job, like besides money and like a learning experience of like to know when to leave a job and to not stay there for too long, because I felt like I overstayed my welcome a bit. But I did end up meeting my goal of saving up 10K, so that was nice. But I did have some customers even harass me too sometimes, or be rude to me. So I feel like people were orchestrated around me to like do certain things, or to make me feel some type of way, or to make me feel insecure. And then also like I had seen people sometimes that I knew or I knew of that worked there, that I felt like were sent in to work there on the job just because they knew me back whenever they knew me in high school or wherever, just to kind of keep an eye on me. So it was like things like that going on that I kind of picked up on, but like if I spoke about it, I would have sounded crazy. So yeah. And then after I left the job, I'm pretty sure I even sent an email and said something that I wasn't coming back. They acted like I should have still been there, like I shouldn't have left, like, or that I needed to come back. They even tried to get me to come back to the job, but I didn't want to. So I just feel like they didn't want to let go of my energy, and it was fucked up. They literally thought I was gonna be at that job for the rest of my life, and that was never like what I like envisioned or what I had planned for myself. But I think that they thought differently, that I was just gonna do a bunch of hard work and not be appreciated and basically be treated like crap or like not valued on the job, and then I was gonna stay there forever. Like I wasn't going to, like that was never part of my plan, but I just didn't tell them that. So yeah, it was rough for me after I left the job, but thankfully I saved up my goal. But then after I left the job, the managers, especially one of them, but basically the whole company management, they didn't want me to get another job or employment anywhere else. Like they didn't want no one to look into me. They didn't want no one to help me. Like they just didn't want me to have money, income, a way of living, nothing like that. So like that was like the energy that was going on. And I just think it's like, it was super fucked up because they weren't like that with other people. Like other people had left the job or had quit suddenly or just like not went back or worked for a year or two or like several months, and then they left and they could leave and they were fine. Like with me, like it wasn't like that. Like they tried to keep me like tied down to the job, even though they knew they didn't have good intentions or they knew that they didn't like me, which I thought was like messed up. Like if they didn't like me, they should have just allowed me to go. But it's like I guess they started stalking me, or it was like online or in real life, like after I left the job, which was like the energy that I felt like was going on. And yeah, I don't know why like that was happening, but I feel like it was only happening to me. And I just felt kind of violating, like I didn't know like what was going on or why like I was being targeted like I was, but they were also doing a lot of witchcraft on me too. Like they didn't like the fact that I left the environment, but I felt like I didn't have a choice with like everything that I was picking up on, like what was going on. And I had to leave for my own sanity, my safety, my peace, my health, all that, which no one really gave a fuck about. So I had to give a fuck about it. Because no one's gonna care about you like more than yourself, or like you should care about yourself. Like you should expect that only you has your back at the end of the day 100%. So I had to do what I had to do, and then any way I tried to make income, they tried to like block it or stop it, or they would like interfere. And that would be with any opportunity, anything, they would try to infiltrate it. Like the company just didn't want me existing basically after I worked there and after I left. Like they literally wanted me to die. So like that was my experience working at a store for like almost a year. And it was messed up. So that's all I can continue to say. And then I guess I also found out, this was recently revealed to me, that there was like nude pictures of me and videos of me or something like that on the internet, and that apparently one of the managers who hated me the most, she got a hold of it and she was looking at it and stuff like that, and then she showed like everybody, like the whole company, management, whoever. So that's something that I could sue for, or I could have sued for, but it's basically like me against the whole company, you know what I mean? So it's messed up. That happened, and they're still trying to spread lies and not tell the truth. So that's why I had to get up on here and share my story, because they don't want me speaking out about anything. They don't want no one listening to me. And yeah, she tried to say that I saw her nude pictures too. I didn't see anything. Like I wouldn't have looked for that, because I didn't like her like at all. Like she didn't like me either, so I thought it was weird. Like I didn't want to see her like that. Like, and she's just basically still making things up instead of telling the truth. And then so is basically the whole company that had stalked me and harassed my life because they didn't want me to live. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I guess I'm gonna end it here. If you relate or have anything to say about a toxic workplace experience, please like, comment, share, subscribe.